Welcome to the new video. Here we are going to discuss about resources and development. Watch the video to the full length so that you will be able to understand all the basic concepts that are related to resources and development. We have a lot of needs. We use a wide variety of things to satisfy our needs. Certain needs can be satisfied by using the things that are available in the environment. Sometimes we need to transform the available materials to satisfy our needs. In other words, some of our needs cannot be satisfied by the direct use of available materials in the environment. We need to transform them or change them. Everything in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs and is technologically accessible, economically feasible and culturally acceptable is termed as resource. Human beings themselves are essential components of resource because they transform materials available in the environment into resources and use them. What are the classifications of resources? Resources can be classified in 4 different ways. They are on the basis of origin, on the basis of exhaustibility, on the basis of ownership, and on the basis of the status of development. On the basis of origin, resources are called as biotic and abiotic resources. Biotic resources are obtained from the biosphere and have life. Human beings, plants and animals or flora and fauna, fisheries, livestock, etc. are biotic resources. Abiotic resources, all those things which are composed of non-living things are called abiotic resources. For example, rocks and metals are abiotic resources. On the basis of exhaustibility, resources are classified into renewable and non-renewable resources. The resources which can be renewed or reproduced by physical, chemical or mechanical processes are known as renewable or replenishable resources. The renewable resource may further be divided into continuous or flow. Solar and wind energy, water, forests and wildlife etc. are examples of renewable resources. Non-renewable resources occur over a very long geological time. These resources take millions of years in their formation. Some of the resources like metals are recyclable and some like fossil fuels cannot be recycled and get exhausted with their use. Minerals and fossil fuels are examples for non-renewable resources. On the basis of ownership, resources can be classified into individual, community, national and international resources. Individual resources are owned privately by individuals. In villages, people own lands, whereas in urban areas, people own plots, houses and other properties. Community-owned resources are accessible to all the members of the community. Grazing grounds, burial grounds, public parks, picnic spots, playgrounds, etc. are community-owned resources. National resources are owned by a nation or country. All the minerals, water resources, forests, wildlife, land within the political boundaries and oceanic area up to 12 nautical miles from the coast, termed as territorial water and resources therein belong to the nation. Roads, canals, railways, etc. also belong to the nation. International resources are regulated by international institutions. The oceanic resources beyond 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic zone belong to open ocean and no individual country can utilize these without the concurrence of international institutions. International agencies like United Nations are responsible for the regulation of natural resources. The organization of an international resource panel is responsible for the use of natural resources sustainable without compromising the economic growth and human needs. They are supported by the UNEP. Climate change and biodiversity loss are the two most important issues that need attention. EPA is another organization that seeks the protection and conservation of the environment from harmful chemicals. World Health Organization is also responsible for the regulation of natural resources and with the health and safety standards for the nation. On the basis of the status of development, resources are classified into potential, developed, stock, and reserves. Potential resources are the resources which are found in a region but have not been utilized. Example, Rajasthan and Gujarat have enormous potential for the development of wind and solar energy, but so far these have not been developed properly. The development of these resources depends on technological development. Developed resources, resources which are surveyed and their quality and quantity have been determined for utilization. The development of resources depends on technology and level of their feasibility. Materials in the environment which have the potential to satisfy human needs, but human beings do not have the appropriate technology to access these resources are called stock. For example, water is a compound of two inflammable gases, hydrogen and oxygen, which can be used as a rich source of energy. But we do not have the required technical knowledge how to use them for this purpose. Hence, it can be considered as stock. That means we have the stock of a rich source of energy but do not have the appropriate technology to use it. Reserves are the subset of the stock which can be put into use with the help of existing technological knowledge, but their use has not been started. This can be used for meeting future requirements. River water can be used for generating hydroelectric power, but presently it is being utilized only to a limited extent. Thus, the water in the dams, forest, etc. is a reserve which can be used in the future. Development of resources. Resources are vital for human survival as well as for maintaining the quality of life. It was believed that resources are free gifts of nature. As a result, resources have been used by human beings indiscriminately, and this has led to some major problems like depletion of resources, accumulation of resources in a few hands, global ecological crises such as global warming, ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution, and land degradation. How depletion of resources caused? Overutilization has led to the depletion of the resources for meeting the greed of a few individuals. For example, overutilization of petroleum products has led to a situation where most of the countries of the world are facing energy problems. Accumulation of resources in only few hands leaves others unsatisfied, which in turn divided the society into two segments, that is, rich and poor. The rich can accumulate as much resources they want. Climate change, ozone layer depletion, degraded air quality, degraded water quality, scarcity of fresh water, land contamination, deforestation, soil erosion and degradation are the major global ecological crises. An equal distribution of resources has become essential for a sustained quality of life and global peace. If the present trend of resource depletion by a few individuals and countries continues, the future of our planet is in danger. So, resource planning is essential for the sustainable existence of all forms of life. It helps for the equal distribution of resources for all. Sustainable economic development means development should take place without damaging the environment And development in the present should not compromise with the needs of future generations. That means our needs should be satisfied at the same time the resources should be preserved for the future generation also. The development and the technology that we are using today should never damage the available resources. In India, there are some regions which can be considered self-sufficient in terms of the availability of resources, and there are some regions which have acute shortage of some vital resources. For example, the states of Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh are rich in minerals and coal deposits. Arunachal Pradesh has abundance of water resources, but it lacks in infrastructural development. The state of Rajasthan is very well endowed with solar and wind energy, but it lacks in water resources. The cold desert of Ladakh is relatively isolated from the rest of the country. It has very rich cultural heritage, but it is deficient in water, infrastructure and some important minerals. This tells us the importance of balanced resource planning at the national, state, regional and local levels. Resource planning is a complex process. The first step is identification and inventory of resources across the regions of the country. This involves surveying, mapping and qualitative and quantitative estimation and measurement of the resources. It helps us to identify the regions which are self-sufficient in the availability of resources and the regions which have acute shortage of the important resources. Next step is evolving a planning structure. It is nothing but using appropriate technology, skill and institutional setup for implementing resource development plans. Third step is to coordinate the resource development plans with overall national development plans. It implies checking overall budget allocation for resource development with that of budget allocated for national development. Resource planning involves strategies and techniques to judiciously and optimally utilize the resources available in our country. Resource planning is important as it ensures more or less equitable distribution or equal distribution of resources at the national, regional and local level. It also ensures sustainable development as it looks for alternative strategies of development which aims at conserving resources for the present and future generations. It is important to coordinate the resource development plans with overall national development plans because resource development must not put excessive burden on our country's budget. They must well be in sync with each other. There are many regions in our country that are rich in resources, but these are included in economically backward regions. On the contrary, there are some regions which have a poor resource base, but they are economically developed. Rich resources in colonies were the main attractions for the foreign invaders. It was primarily the higher level of technological development of the European countries that helped them to exploit resources of other regions and establish their supremacy over the colonies. That means the colonies had the rich source of resources. The colonial countries or the European countries, they had the sufficient infrastructure and technological development. Therefore, appropriate technological development and institutional changes are very essential for resource planning and development. India has made concerted efforts towards achieving the goals of resource planning right from the first 5-year plan launched after independence. Resources are important for any developmental activity, but irrational consumption and overutilization of resources may lead to socio-economic and environmental problems. To overcome these problems, resource conservation at various levels is important. This had been the main concern of the leaders and thinkers in the past. For example, Gandhiji was against mass production and wanted to replace it with the production by the masses. He placed the greedy and selfish individuals and exploitative nature of modern technology as the root cause for resource depletion at the global level. To overcome irrational consumption and overutilization of resources, resource conservation at various levels is important. We live on land. We perform our economic activities on land and we use it in different ways. Thus, land is a natural resource of utmost importance. It supports natural vegetation, wildlife, human life, economic activities, transport and communication systems, etc. India has land under a variety of relief features, namely mountains are there, plateaus, plains and islands are there. About 43% of the land area is plain. It provides facilities for agriculture and industry. About 27% of the area of our country is the plateau region. Plateau regions are rich reserves of minerals, fossil fuels and forests. Let us see the land utilization in India. Land utilization includes land resources used for forests, land not available for cultivation, barren and waste land, land put to non-agricultural uses, fallow lands, other uncultivated lands, net sown area or total cropped area. Not only the cropped areas but also the waste and barren land considered under land utilization. What is a fallow land? Fallow is the term referring to a land which has been plowed and tilled but left unseeded during growing season. Fallow system of farming is in existence from ancient times. It is a technique frequently used in crop rotation to improve fertility of the land. What is the benefit of fallow period? Nitrogen content in the soil increases. Moisture received and accumulated during fallow period is used during crop season. During fallow period, weeds are controlled. But exposure of tilled soil could lead to water and wind erosion. Arrangement of the uses of the land is known as land use pattern. Land is used for agriculture, for growing forest, for grazing animals, for mining, for installing industries and for construction of houses, roads, railways, etc. In India, about 51.09% of the land is under cultivation, 21.81% under forest. Land use is determined by many factors like relief features, climate, soil, density of population, technical and socio-economic factors. That means the use of land is determined by physical factors and human factors. Physical factors such as topography, climate and soil types. Human factors such as population density, technological capability and culture and traditions, etc. are used to determine the use of land. The topography of an area was important for early human settlement. Topography means physical features of an area. Hills and mountains, plains, vegetation, elevation and glaciers are examples for topography. Farmers prefer to settle in flat, open areas such as plains and valleys. Fertile plains and river valleys offer suitable land for agriculture. Total geographical area of India is 3.28 million square kilometer. From the comparative study of land use data from 1960, 61 and 2002 and 3, we can understand that the net sown area has reduced to 43.41% and land under forest has increased to 22.57%. The reason is that area under non-agricultural use has increased by about 3%. The land under permanent pasture has also decreased. It creates problem to feed our huge cattle population. The pattern of net sown area varies greatly from one state to another. Net sown area or total cropped area in Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram and Manipur is low, mainly due to the hilly and rocky terrain. They are also largely covered by dense forest which will need to be cut to develop agriculture. Andaman and Nicobar Islands are covered by dense tropical forests and so net sown area is low there. According to the National Forest Policy of 1952, 33% of geographical area should be land under forest. It is essential for maintenance of the ecological balance. But we have only 22.57% land under forest. Wasteland is the land put to other non-agricultural uses, which include rocky, arid and desert areas, roads, railways, industries, etc. Continuous use of land over a long period of time without taking appropriate measures to conserve and manage it has resulted in land degradation. 95% of our basic needs for food, shelter and clothing are obtained from land. Human activities such as deforestation, overgrazing, mining and quarrying have contributed significantly to land degradation. Mining sites leave deep scars and traces of overburdening the land. In recent years, industrial effluents as waste have become a major source of land and water pollution in many parts of the country. Over-irrigation is responsible for land degradation due to waterlogging. It leads to increase in salinity and alkalinity in the soil. Some of the ways through which we can solve the problems of land degradation are afforestation and proper management of grazing, planting of sheltered belts of plants, stabilization of sand dunes by growing thorny bushes, proper management of wastelands, control of mining activities, proper discharge and disposal of industrial effluents and wastes after treatment.